Now, let's stick to transfers, and one player who does not appear to be heading to the Etihad Stadium now this summer is Floren Vertz. The Bayer Leverkusen star has been strongly linked with a move to City, and was supposedly identified as an ideal replacement for Kevin De Bruyne. But reports have now since emerged claiming that City have cooled their interest in Vertz as they're concerned about the costs of the deal, and it's now understood that Liverpool could are leading the race now for his signature. And he's leaning towards a move to Anfield over City or Bayern Munich. So, what do you make of this development now, Stephen? Are you surprised that this has emerged now, and should City fans be disappointed in a way that a move from Verts might not materialise this summer?
I mean, yeah, it's immensely disappointing. I mean, I'm never surprised if City lose out on the superstar because traditionally, Haaland aside, but he has that Manchester City link. We've not really been good, at nailing down the big names. You think of the pursuit of, Jude Bellingham, the pursuit of Declan Rice. I'm sure there's others that I've forgotten about. We went for Alexis Sanchez many years ago, and he went to United instead because they paid more.
Players like
Now
Harry
Harry
Kane as
Kane,
well,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, he
Koulibaly
wanted to
and
come to City.
Jorginho. Yeah,
Jorginho, yeah. We've usually stepped away. Now, obviously, Floren Vertz. I don't buy the money thing, if I'm being honest, in this instance. I think the money thing with some of them was, but I just don't buy it. I think it's very obvious that, that Florian Wirtz just fancies Liverpool. And I get that. Look, I get it logically. Liverpool are a very attractive club. As much as I'd like to pretend as a City fan, City's appeal is bigger. For some people, well, for some people, it'd be Liverpool. Liverpool are a very different club to Manchester City Football Club. I know, Liverpool are the club that are sort of liked in Germany as well. City aren't liked in Germany. We're not. I understand every time I speak to, a German correspondent about, a City transfer signing from Germany or something like that, they always say, that the same thing that City just aren't liked in Germany because we're seen as new money, and everyone's very cynical towards them. That's not to say that's the reason Florian Wirtz is coming to City, but I guess the point I'm making is Liverpool's reputation in Germany is bigger than City's. It just is. Anfield and all that kind of stuff, and Jurgen Klopp, of course, history there. And I think as well, Frimpong's going there as well. His mate's going there. I think he walk into that side perfectly. You never know for Guardiola, if you're going to get rotated or where you're going to play and all that kind of stuff. And I think the football, I think you might prefer the football there, but it might be a little bit more, City are a little bit more laboured than Liverpool these days, and it is what it is. Look, I'm not going to cry over a player choosing somewhere else, and I don't buy the total package thing. There's some rumours that it'll only be about 110 million quid. I say only, but City can afford that. They absolutely can afford that for Florian Wirtz. Like 85 million up front, I've read, and then about another 15 million or something like that in add-ons. Like it's not the price of it. I don't think it's that at all. I think City have to come out and pretend, they pulled out for whatever reason. And I don't think City go this far into the race as well and have no idea the potential transfer outlay because it was always going to be £100 million plus transfer. It's Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen. He's a wonder kid, and it does sting a little bit, and it does obviously massively improve Liverpool. There, it's a cracking signing. But I don't think City's problems are, I don't think it's the be all end all of Manchester City's problems. I think we have been, poor creatively, but I look around, and this is not just cope, it really is genuinely the case. I look around at City's issues, and I think, well, returning players, I think Rodri's one of the biggest creative outlets at Manchester City Football Club. Like, as much as defensively and the control is great, he's also really good outside the box. He's brilliant outside the box. So that would massively increase City's creativity. I can only presume Phil Foden will be much better next season. There's a boost in creativity. And look, we're linked to Tijana Reinders. He's a cracking footballer, a graceful, elegant number eight who's got incredible vision, an eye for goal as well. Look, Rangers, Rodri, a return to former Foden, and that more than fixes the whole City have creatively. Works would be great, but I don't think we need him personally. I think we need a combination of factors, of players who can add more going forward. And I think it's fair to say, Rodri returns, Rangers comes in, Foden returns in inverted commas. It's a massive boost creatively. Oscar Bob, who I really rate, he starts to adapt a little bit. Who knows? Echeverry's starting to break through a little bit now at Manchester City. Maybe he gets a chance after hopefully impressing at the Club World Cup. And then all this is not to say that Verts wouldn't have been an incredible signing, but I don't think City are going to live or die by that signing. I think City can plug it in different ways. Morgan Gibbs-White, for example, is an incredibly aggressive midfielder who gets forward, two-footed, really good passer. There are many different ways, to break a team down, and I think City had potential options with other potential signings and returning players. That as much as this would have been a great signing, it's not going to make or break City season.
Yeah, so you think then it's a sensible choice then for City to sort of cool their interest now, and instead of putting all their eggs in one basket to sign one player for a lot of money, it's better to spread that money out on signing several players. They've been linked with a couple of midfielders, a couple of fullbacks. There's talk of maybe another goalkeeper if Ederson goes, and another signing another attack-minded player. So does that seem a sensible decision to do that instead?
I mean, I don't think they called it. I think they said no, he said no to them, so I think they have no choice. But I just don't believe that City have called their interest. I think that he's gone. No, I'm not interested in Fortune. I'm going to Liverpool, and City gone. Okay, fair enough. And I think there was always going to be backups. I think we've seen so many random midfield links, and yeah, I think they have no choice but to move on. And it's not the first time. And I mean, this happens to every single club in the world. It happened to Real Madrid when we signed Erling Haaland. Like it happens to the biggest and the best. So it's just a natural part of football. And look, as long as City reinvest in other areas, as I said, we're linked to um, Rangers in midfield, the best midfielder in Syria, more than good enough quality to improve it. Rodri returning, we're linked to Gibbs White, who's up for player of the season in the Premier League. Yeah, look, we have no choice either way. I don't think personally, but it is what it is, and I think we have to move on.